Welcome back. Today we're gonna do a nice landscape painting that might be a little complicated, but I think most of you could handle. Now, let me run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. While you're doing that, let me tell you what I got done here. So I have a 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched, and I add a thin layer of liquid clear. But before that, I got some black gesso, and with the paintbrush just did the figures of some mountains, did some figures of like some rocks, maybe bushes, maybe rocks, I don't know yet, and some cabin. Kind of like sketched out a little bit, but not really. We could always change it, and maybe some trees, but right now it's just like a little imagination. I allowed it to dry, and I added a thin layer of the liquid clear. After it dried, and I put the liquid clear, it's how it is right now. We're ready to go. Now, as you may notice, my palette's a bit messy because I just finished recording the video and I forgot to clean it. So yeah. So since it has the liquid clear, we have to line it up by ourselves. We can't depend on the uh, we can't depend on liquid white to line it right now because it has no liquid white. And the mountains do not have anything. They don't have liquid clear, liquid black, or liquid white. They're just mountains with gesso. So when we put our highlights, it's a bit easier to stick on and we don't struggle as much. It's a little trick I found out after time of painting over and over. I found that trick out. Just painting in the sky. And you can darken it, you can lighten it. It will have no different effect. Your paint won't lighten up, your paint won't darken since it's liquid clear. Just like that. Have a nice little sky. Let's go ahead, let's add some white. Let's put in a little bright area. Okay, now I'm going to make some clouds. So going to straight titanium white and just with the fan brush doing circular motions. And just repeat as many times as you want. I just want some clouds to indicate what direction the sky is going. You could have fun with this. You don't have to um, follow this direction or do these type of clouds. You could look like you could do you can look at other videos of mine and find different ways to make a cloud, and you could paint it differently, uh, just to your liking. You could just go like this, let it loose, simple. Okay, now I'm gonna put this fan brush down with the top corner of my 2-inch. Blend one side where you think best suits it. Don't blend the whole cloud, just one side. Just like that, simple. Just touch, go in circles, and you could go back over and over. Now, maybe going this way. Then they're going across, they're going up. It's a whole lot going on there. Just like that. we have a basic sky. Now I have a rag here just to clean off that paint from the gesso that went onto the mountains. The less paint you have here, the easier it's gonna be. I was teaching one of my cousins, how to do this, and this would be so easy for him. I meant to say I was teaching him, but I didn't teach him this way. This would be so easy for him or her. I'm gonna put it out like that, um, because it's so simple. You're not struggling with your highlights. It's more easier. Look at that. How it just goes on. So simple. I was watching a Bob Ross tutorial, and when he put the snow on, he would say, make it feel like if you're not careful enough, your hand's gonna float away, you know? You gotta be delicate with it. You gotta be delicate with this touch, because the more pressure you put, the more unsatisfied you might be. Or you might like it. You never know. I was just sketching this in a classroom, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop sketching because I think painting should be at the moment, not what you feel at one moment. It should be what you're feeling while you're painting it, not before or after you're painting it. So just do whatever you want. Let loose. Okay, some white, little bit of phthalo blue, little bit of crimson, little bit of mountain mixture left over from um, the video I just got done filming. Hopefully it's out soon. Probably by the time you're watching this, it's probably out. So just mix up here. I have this nice color. Hope you can see it. Pull a row. Let's come up here. Everything has its own little highlights. So treat it special. Treat it special. Treat it the same way you treat your highlights. And you're doing basically the same thing. You're just doing it, pulling it through the other side. And it should have the same effect. Just lightly. Let it go into nothing. Okay? Pull out some white. Cut a roll. And just lightly. Okay. Just like that, we have our basic little mountain. Let me just tap off my brush. And I want to diffuse this a little bit. So following the angle, just a bit. Have a little pigment still, so it might turn a little blue, as you can see right here. Okay, let's go ahead. How about let's focus on this right now. I'm planning to make a little river, so let's go into phthalo blue. A little bit of that shadow color, which is of course lighter. You mix it up to whatever you want, whatever you think it should look like. And if you did this right, you allowed your gesso to dry and you put the liquid clear on. It should look like tiny little pebbles under water. That's simple. You don't have to do anything else rather than that. Now I want a little bit more darker. I want it to get lighter in the back, darker in the front. Okay, let me tap off my brush. I'm just tapping it on a little rag. Now, let's go into a little white. And for this to work, you need a pretty transparent color. White is opaque, so white will ruin it for you, make it harder to see. Now, I could still see it, but it might be harder to see on camera now that I added white. But I could still kind of see it on the camera, so I think we're good to go on that. Now, let's add some land. What brush do I use? I'm gonna just use my trusty old 2.5 inch. Let's go into a little bit of phthalo blue. Let's go into a little bit of alizarin crimson. Just like that, loaded both sides. And maybe a little bit of cadmium yellow. Let's tap in some grass. Oh, that's too blue. So I'm adding more crimson. If a color doesn't meet your requirement, change it. There's no need why you shouldn't like it. You should always change it to your liking. And that's better. Maybe it comes down to around there. You see, with that white and blue, we lost basically the sketch. So basically, I'm making it up on the spot again. But since there's blue in this color, when we add our highlights of cadmium yellow, it's gonna appear green. And the colors blend and everything. It's gonna show up green because of the blue that's underneath. And it's like a lavender grayish color. Just like that, we already have the base. Let's go into same dirty brush, cadmium yellow. While we're talking about that, just tap your bristles into that paint. Let's come up here and let's just start with the land. Just by tapping, you create grass. Just tap, tap, tap. Just like that. Something delicate. Now, when you're painting, this goes to going back to general. Look for a good canvas. Look for a good quality canvas. Good canvas will serve you right. And on top of that, if you buy a cheap canvas or a student grade canvas, add gesso to it. Gesso will make it act like if it was a higher brand quality. And it just helps so much because with the wet on wet technique, if you're using cheap canvases or if you're using student grade, it's not going to work as good as you want it to work. So you might want to spend a bit more for more success in painting. Now, my personal preference in canvas is a level 3, which is the highest level of Artist Loft canvas. Those are good, or level 2 will work as well. But level 3, the main difference is with level 3, the thickness of your canvas is about, I believe, 1.25 inches compared to a level 2 or level 1. Those are like 0.75, somewhere around there. So when you frame or when you put up your canvas, it'll pop out more if you have a level 3 compared to if you have a level 1 or 2 or a student grade. Something just to talk about. Okay, with that, we're done with the foreground. Just tapping a little bit. Now, let's go back over there to where we were with the mountains. A little bit of phthalo blue, some crimson, blue and crimson, and a little bit of yellow. Just like so. Let's make a distant or semi-distant foothill. That's too bluish. Let's make it green. Just by tapping it, you could create a nice little foothill. Notice how much you can use a 2-inch brush. It's crazy what you can do with it. Cadmium yellow, I'm gonna highlight this. Just touching and pulling upwards. It'll look like there's tons of distant little trees back in the far. Now, go back to that dark color. And let's create another layer. Somewhere around here. Just scrub it in. So we gotta make it lighter so it could pop out a bit more. Maybe, oof. Maybe we'll connect it with the grass. Distant little trees, something like that. Simple, easy, done. Now, I want to go back here. I changed my mind about that. And I want it to be a little more darker. We could always change it. So, a little bit of phthalo blue. If you put transparent color over opaque color, it's still gonna be little bit hard to see, but you'll still see it. Okay, I could still see it. I'm satisfied with it. But what I'm looking at as well is that this is dark. I gotta bring it out a bit more. So something light, something simple. Just like that. Let me fix a little bit. This side needs a couple sparklers. You could probably hear how hard I'm pushing the paint into the canvas. Now let's do that cabin. Let me clear up some space. We might use that right now. Little red. Some of that green color we had down here. Just put that up here. A little bit more red. If you don't have a green color, just get yellow and blue. Mix it until you're satisfied with what color you have. Don't rely on other people's choices. Rely on your choice. It went too green with that. Oh, it's coming back to brown. A little bit of red. And take your time with painting. Painting shouldn't be a race. Painting shouldn't be a race. It's just painting. Now, some white. Lighten up. Now, let's come up here. We had a cabin. Or at least we shaped out a cabin. You can put the base of your cabin okay. I kind of lost where was what, but we'll find out in a bit. Some white. You gotta line it up now. Cut a row. Let's see right here. Maybe right there lives the front of the door. Maybe right here is the side. Too much paint. You see, it's harder when you have too much paint on there because then it'll like smear. Okay. Now I'm gonna add a little bit touch of crimson just to redden it up a bit. Is that even a word? Redden it? I don't know. And just tap, tap. Just let it. And then right there, boom. Kind of lost its shape, so we could use some mountain mixture. And we can sort of put in some shadows. Okay? For that, to me, is shadows. something simple. Now, it's always helpful to step back, look at it. Sometimes, if you're up close too much, you might lose where you're going with it. Maybe it's just living there. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's make a couple trees. I have this random brush, it's a flat brush, and let's go. Oh, there's paint on the handle. Gotta clean that off. Okay, let's just go into this brownish mountain mix color. Just mixing up random colors. And let's come here. Just like that, maybe. Just mixing up some nice colors. Red, blue, yellow. You can tap. I'll come back to that with a palette knife because this brush isn't good for doing the tips or whatever. Boom. Just like that. Okay. You can just get your palette knife, tap it. Okay, just like that. You have the base of trees, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this quick just to end it for you guys. So you guys don't have to stay here long. I'm gonna just put a couple tree barks. I don't want to go over, like, let's say maybe 32 minutes, 33 minutes. Once I pass that, that's too long. I know you guys don't want to be watching a video for that long. Okay. Blue, crimson, maybe a little yellow. And maybe it's an evergreen that's just growing a couple leaves, but you could still see that stem. These are pretty fun way to paint your trees in. Rather than doing the whole tree, you're just doing parts. And for the people that are learning, or is maybe their first time painting, this, and I would say somewhat easier since you're not doing the whole thing. Okay, some green. Come up here. Pop in that green. Same for here. Wherever you think there should be leafy trees or whatever, you put it in. There's no holding back. Whatever you think you can make here on your painting. Okay? Now, I want to Make that bark stand out more. Just by tapping, you can make that tree bark. I probably said bark. I meant to say bark. I don't even know what I was trying to say. Bark, Bart. So many things. Okay, do the same for the other side. A little bit crimson, a little bit more. We're at 30 minutes. I'm gonna just finish up these trees. And I'll let you guys go. Obviously, sometimes when I'm not satisfied with the picture, I'll go back and I'll repaint some areas, and I'll start posting again on Instagram if you're interested in that, and I'll show you what came out on the video, and I'll post a picture of what I painted off camera and the difference. Okay, green. I wanna, depending on you guys, please comment below. I wanna know. If not, I'm gonna just do it. If you guys don't tell me, let me know if you guys would see or wanna see an hour special, just like my first video where I took up an hour, just like that, an hour of me painting. I see so many people doing that on social media, yet people are watching it. So I'm curious if you guys would want to see that. I'll do it, and if you don't, then I'll find a way to make something similar, but not that. If you don't want to see that, just little foam, making this river have more life. Okay, we're at 33 minutes. I think I'm gonna end it there. I thank you guys for joining me today. Today it was an interesting painting, a little different painting, but rather less the landscape. If you guys try this painting out, send me a photo. My Instagram will probably be somewhere around here. And if you don't, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it helped you relax a bit. I hope it helped you not stressed out from the day you had today. Rather than that, I'd like to thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on my next painting video. Goodbye.